dance floor and go and go and go crazy and go crazy and go crazy and go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go crazy like a dum-dum. Eastside homeboy, where I come from. Dance on the floor till you go numb. No fighting, no hating, no red rum. This is O City. All the way to the bay, hit the bass, feel me. Catch a case cause it's beating up yo Chevy. Get you moving side to side, getting all sweaty. Make it work it, work it, work it out. Turn the volume up loud. This a draw crowd, make it all shout. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Hit play on the track and I'm ready. Like a quarterback, Tom Brady. Get you all in the frenzy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, go, go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. All the way from the O to LA.
What's up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Scoop. Yeah, and as you can see, the lady of the house is away. So, since the lady is away, it's time for the boys to play.
Hey,
That's right.
So we're gonna have a good time tonight. Who is out? And so all of your hot topics, we are going to give our perspective
let's go.
tonight. So what's going on? Y'all make sure you hit the share button. And ladies, y'all usually since I'm by myself, I'm like, fellas, y'all gotta help me.
Yeah.
We definitely need y'all in the comments tonight, giving us your thoughts, giving us your opinions on tonight's hot topics. As you can see, I got my bros with me tonight. So in a second, we're going to introduce them. But yeah, y'all make sure you drop in your comments, hitting that share button because we are interactive. We want you to make sure that you're hitting your share button, that you're commenting, that you're liking, all of that tonight. So and for those of you who this is new, this is first, this is this is your first time or you're not following us, make sure you're following us on all of our digital platforms. So you can follow us on YouTube at The Scoop Show. You can follow us on Facebook at Real Scoop Show, and you can follow us on Instagram at The Scoop Radio Show. So you want to make sure you're following us on all of our platforms so that way you don't miss a thing. All right, got that out the way. What's going on, Dion? What's up? Oh, I see KG is in the house tonight. What's going on? So y'all make sure, again, share, invite y'all, tag your people. We're going to get into the show in just a second. So first, let me say what's up to these two brothers who are with me tonight. As you know, if y'all are on the Scoop on Clubhouse, y'all know they regulars with us there. So, and I've known Dan for 20 plus years. So no stranger to me. I'm going to kick first, introduce y'all to Dan Thomas Jr. since he got his full, he got that up tonight. I'm gonna call him by the full name.
Right.
Dan, what's up, Dan? Tell the people who you are. Tell them where they can find you, and then we're gonna go ahead.
Man, it's gonna be incredible tonight. I already know it. I can already feel the energy. But again, my name is Dan Thomas. If you're wondering what the A stands for, I guess I can tell you. I guess my full name, government name, I'm not ashamed of it. Dan Abraham Thomas Jr. I'm a pastor. I'm an author. I'm also a mindset and intuition coach. And what I do is I help leaders and I help entrepreneurs and influencers have mind shifting aha moments to recognize their confidence by unlocking their being, their blueprint, and their brilliance. So if you feel stuck in anything, in any way, there's something in your belief system that's causing you to behave a certain way and not the other way around. I help you get rid of those limiting mindsets so that you can do what you were put on the earth to do.
Absolutely. All right. So y'all know where this is going. And of course, if one wasn't enough, then I got two. Not only does Dan drop bombs, but this one drops bombs too. Donnell Cole, tell people who you are.
Oh my God, this is about to be a crazy, crazy evening. All right, for those who don't know me, my name is Donnell Cole. Just like Pastor Dan, I'm a minister, also an author as well. I am co-founder of Modern Manhood. With my brother Damon, we have created a safe platform for men to come and share and grow together. I am obsessed with anything that has to do with transformation, with allowing us to be able to explore our highest potential. So I'm honored to be here, Brother Wynn. Of course, I've always followed you. If you guys are looking for my information, Donnell Cole on all social media outlets. But let's go.
All right, real quick. So since we here, you just brought it up. Go ahead and tell the people
about the masterclass. Okay, so man,
on.
I'm truly excited about this. Me and Dr. Damon have always been wanting to put together a curriculum that aspires to help men figure out, what it means for your life to be truly in alignment. We initially started this for men because every time I would go out and do things like meditation camps, vision board parties, there was always women doing that. So I had a dream to create a retreat specifically for men, and we put together this plan that helps you find your values. Does visualization help you get in alignment with the ideal self? But we ended up getting a partnership with Rose State to be able to bring our masterclass to Rose State College. So I'm excited about this because we have 120 seats. A lot of times women will reach out and say, hey, I would love for you to mentor our son, but we don't always have the time or capacity, but now we do. And so we have a masterclass coming up April 2nd. All students 17 and older male get in for free. If you are a male that is adult like myself, it's $35 for a ticket. And you get what we call a playbook, man. So when you come, you learn your values, figure out your ideal self, your plan that truly aspires to help you feel like you're living in alignment with your purpose, and you get it all around in 2 hours. And then we have a networking opportunity as well. So it's amazing, man. I'm thrilled.
Absolutely. So listen, this is what I'm gonna do. So if you watch this show, and you want a ticket, the first person who tells me they want a ticket in the comments that don't already have one, I'm gonna sponsor.
Hey, that's dope. I'll match you too. So if you would like to attend it, or if you know,
Three?
yeah, right.
Okay.
So that's 3 tickets. KG's been through it, man. And let me tell you guys what I love so much about it. Every single man that's come, even people that I love, I mentor, that I follow, they've gotten some of this. And every single person that came, Mac O'Henson came to the last one. He was like, bro, I'm leaving a new person. A room full of men that don't necessarily have the opportunity to meditate or don't feel like they have the time in their space came to this event. Every single man loved it. And it's the first time I've seen a room full of men in a room where it was specifically designed for development. And it was a great time. So I'm looking forward to it.
Dope.
Absolutely.
Me too. All right, Dan, you got anything since we're here? You got anything coming up that we need to know about?
I do. It's just not public yet, but it's going to be massive.
Okay.
And it's actually something I'm doing with 4 ladies from around the country. It's going to be massive. So just I want to come back on the show when it's ready. But what I'm putting together right now is it's going to be really big.
Let's go.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, we can't kick. So this is March. This is Women's History Month.
It is.
So to pay honor, let's go ahead and pay honor.
Yeah.
So we want to start this show out by shouting out and telling our Black sisters we love you, we appreciate you, you are the real deal. We need you. We value you. You are amazing. So we want to shout you out and tell you all how fantastic you are, and how much better we are as men because of you. So I want to start the show out that way before
That's powerful.
we get into some of these. Even, and it's true. It's absolutely true. We would not. We would not be who we are without y'all. So, all right, y'all ready?
Let's
Man,
get it.
let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Here comes the first hot topic. Wait, where'd it go? Hold on. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, that's right. First question is this: can you be in a healthy relationship with someone who is in the process of leaving a relationship? I'm gonna say it again. Can you be in a healthy relationship with someone who is in the process of leaving a relationship? Dan, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you take this one first.
So it almost sounds like you're saying, can you enter one door while having your hand on another door that's not closed? That's what it sounds like. So let me begin this way. I think healing from relationships is really undervalued. I heard someone say a few years ago that most people never meet new people because they didn't deal with whatever happened in the last relationship, whether conscious or unconscious. And what I mean by that is they didn't give themselves time for time to reveal what actually happened to them in the relationship. And so when they meet someone new, they don't meet that person for all that they are because they've still got issues that they've suppressed but never addressed. And so they're making that person be the person that's responsible for resolving issues that they didn't even resolve or even know that they had to resolve because they didn't give themselves time to do it. Now, I've got a few people in my life that are doing this right now that I've sat down and given them cautionary tales. And this is what I've said. It's not that you're not good enough. You're not ready. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to use one thing to heal another. You don't use one relationship to heal something that you were broken from. I mean, you cried about this. You snotted about this. You called me at 2 a.m. about this. You said this has broken you. How then can you even trust yourself when meeting another person and saying, okay, now this person is completely washing away everything? That's not fair to you. It's not fair to them. And what's going to happen is that when conflict arises, you're going to think you're dealing with them, and they're going to think that they're dealing with you, but they're not dealing with you.
Right.
They're dealing with that other person whom and let's talk about the person who's in the process of leaving a relationship. So let's just deal with that part. So if a person is in the process of leaving a relationship, they're still tethered and they're talking to you, what does that tell you about their character? So when they get tired of you, they're going to start talking to someone else in the process of leaving you. They're already showing you who they are and they do things. They don't end things well. They kind of end it and then go on. And you're in the way. Something big is going to come up. The other man or the other woman is not through. You're going to meet them, and you're going to meet them on unfavorable terms. It's just not a good thing, and it's going to hurt you further. And you're going to become even more jaded about relationships because you just had to have somebody, and you couldn't take the time to be alone. That's what I'll say right now.
Okay. Yep.
It's a mouthful. Yeah, man. I think one of the most difficult things when it comes to relationships is closure. And it's going to be difficult for you to move forward if you constantly teeter-tottering back and forth. And I think this is probably the reason why we have so many codependent relationships. Is because when you haven't fully closed off this, you're always looking for somebody to complement something in your life that needs to take place as far as healing goes. And part of a great relationship is healthy boundaries. Now, I'm not going to say it can't be possible. I'm not going to say it's not possible,
Okay.
but I will say it won't make the relationship easier. You know, so speaking personally, because especially if you like us and you come from, you know, the life where you just used to moving around and you're used to having a good time. A lot of what happens is I see suppression that ends up happening. You know what I'm saying? I like, hey, Chi, your next move might be your best move. It's possible. Your next move could be your best move. However, you also want to make sure that you're able to see clearly. And a lot of times, whenever we're stepping into new relationships, because we're thrilled with the excitement, we got blinders on.
And I want to say this real quick. I agree with KG. Your next move might be your next move, your best move, but it's about timing.
Yeah.
It's about timing. It's medically proven that if you get shot or you get stabbed and the wound is deep, the actual healing is more painful than when you got stabbed or shot. It takes, you ask anybody who's had to heal
Absolutely.
from a deep wound, the pain from healing is actually greater than when the pain was incurred. It takes time to heal. If you don't, this is why I give cautionary tales to people who get involved physically before a real commitment is made. It's difficult for you to trust yourself then because you've now intertwined and interwoven these feelings and you're not thinking straight.
Right.
So likewise, if you've been hurt or you're still hurting, or that person who's in the process of leaving is still hurting, that person is making decisions based on interwoven feelings with something they still got going on. How then are they making decisions that give them a clear mind about you? It's a dangerous situation. And if you get hurt or in the process of leaving, if that person sees something in you that they don't like, and then they snap back into the relationship, which is very, very possible, you're playing on dangerous ground. Those are hard games that I think the chance that move would be your next move for me would be like 1% versus 99%.
Man, KG said that 20 sound better than that 80%. He said that ain't my philosophy. My philosophy is if you want to get over somebody, get under somebody. That's my philosophy.
Yeah, so I would say that, you know, this is something that I've actually experienced. So I'll say in my personal, you know, in my post divorce, this is not anything that's new for people who know. Like post divorce, like the ink wasn't even good and dry before I was in another. Let's go. Like, and I mean, so no, let me back up. No, let me move even further back. So, you know, there's that period of time where you have to go through the process, which can take years, depending on your situation. And so we were separated for the separation process before the divorce was a little over a year. And so once I got like close to what I thought was the end, like I met somebody and I was like, well, let's not do anything. But then, you know, of course, you know, you hang around each other long enough, and I was like, yeah, that's just not going. That didn't last very long. Because again, like to both of your points, there was still this thing out there that needed to be handled, and the emotional part of that I needed to deal with, I hadn't handled. So I personally felt, you know, like, listen, I should move on. I'm good. Like, we ain't getting back together. But at the same time, this was out there and I knew that it wasn't completely done yet. Right. So then fast forward, it gets over. So that ended. Fast forward, I'm in, you know, like I said, my divorce hit the gavel. I got the kind of new girlfriend back. You know, it was that quick. It wasn't that quick, literally, but it was literally that quick. But once we got through the honeymoon phase of the relationship and things started happening, all of a sudden I started to realize just how unhealed I was. And to both of your points, how a lot of the things, like I was quick to recognize the things in her that I saw in my marriage and that I didn't want, you know, but because I hadn't healed, I didn't realize that there were things that had I worked through or had I been in a healthy place that we could have dealt with. I mean, so it was just a whole lot. And then as soon as it got to a certain spot, I'm like, I dealt with this once. I'm not doing this no more. So I was out. And all along, still trying to emotionally recover, trying to, you know, spiritually recover, financially recover. Like I'm in the process of like trying to recover from this while trying to build this at the same time. Really, in actuality, it just broke me. So I think there is a series, there's a season of needing to just be alone, because post any breakup, any relationship, whether it's marriage, whether it's dating, if it was a serious or especially a good length of time, you're going to have to rediscover yourself. You're going to have to figure out, like, process what happened, process how you grew, how you didn't grow, like how you regressed, what you learned, what you didn't learn. Where did you show up in this relationship fully as the person who you believe that you are, or do I have some work to do because I thought I was a person of integrity, but wait a second, I realized that in this relationship I really didn't show up as a, you know what I mean? So like, did I really do all of that and then do the work? So no, I think you want to wait.
Right.
I think you want to wait. I'm just gonna be straight up. I think you want to wait. I get now. I say that also understanding the loneliness, the time of, you know, them Friday nights of, you know, especially if it was you were married or, you know what I mean, like, or you was like active. I want to touch something. You know what I mean, like, hey, I want to rub up against. You know what I mean? Like, it's only so many prayer meetings I want to go to. I need to touch it and make sure it's real. You know what I mean? So, like,
touch and agree.
Yeah. So all of that is right. It's absolutely. So I get that, but it's like we need to take the time because it really was unfair to myself and to the other person because I was expecting her to be something she could not be. And she was expecting me to be something that I thought I was, that I really wasn't ready to be. So
that's not realistic.
All we wound up doing is harming each other. And I did that multiple times until I.
Well, what about this, Winford? What about this? So you broke up, whether it was just boyfriend and girlfriend, committed relationship, or marriage. When do we stop and say, okay, no matter whose fault we thought it was, why did this happen?
Yeah.
Is it healthy for me to go into another relationship and I don't even know why? I don't even understand what was it in me, conscious or unconscious, that contributed to the breakdown of this relationship. If I don't understand myself, then I am doomed to repeat the same thing because you can never live above the level that you believe about yourself. There's something in me, or it could be something that I'm seeing, a perspective that I have, that, and until I understand that, I'm going to unknowingly and maybe even unintentionally do the same thing again. I mean, I say this as a joke to people, but I just, it makes the point. I think sometimes people go to the mall or they go to a place where there's a lot of people and they see a lot of people holding hands and hugging, and then they get inspired and say, okay, I want to be in another relationship. No, you just happen to see a lot of couples that day. Calm down for a second, right? And just realize that that's not for me yet because I'm trying to figure myself out. There's nothing, I think Creflo Dollar said this years and years ago, that single is not spelled ALONE.
Right.
Yeah.
But we think it is. And we kind of live in this generation, ages 0 to 99, where you just have to have somebody. And I think people need to ask themselves, for what? What's the why behind that? What's the purpose? So, I would tell anyone, please figure those things out, or at least understand them to some degree, because you're bringing you wherever you go, you will be there. Mm-hmm. And you're bringing that to another person. And if those things are not understood, then unfortunately conflict in a major way is inevitable.
Right. And I think that we got to also consider how much baggage we're bringing into it. Like KG saying that when he met his wife, that he was able to make it work out. And then a lot of times, I know when I met my wife, we were in a situation like that. She was leaving a relationship. I was leaving a relationship, hadn't fully had everything dealt with, but because of all the abuse, all the pain that was carried on throughout the journey and pathway of me being with that person previously, there was some conflict that came over and spilled into the relationship. So it would have been beneficial to, especially being a man and when you build a family, because it's different from just being in a relationship, because of how many other factors that play with it, with the children, with your career, with your goals, especially if you're trying to build a legacy and you're in school and college, one car breakdown, that's another thing you got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So having that perspective of self-mastery gives you more of an opportunity to be better equipped emotionally, physically, and mentally to deal with whatever's going to come on with being with that person. Mm-hmm. So it's just a beautiful thing when you can get to the point to where you're not just burning through a bunch of people and a bunch of relationships and leaving a trail of tears. Because let's be real, a lot of these relationships that we're breaking are really good people. And I know for me personally, because of this, I ruined some really great friendships with really great women. It's not the business. I'm telling you.
Yeah, been there, done that. Yeah, I agree with that. I think what you just said, Donnell, is so important. Is to think about absolutely it could be the right person, and Dan, you said it too, and at the wrong time.
It could.
Mhm.
The right
It
person
could.
at the wrong time is just as bad as the wrong person at the right time. And so
Mm.
you have to realize
Say it again.
sometimes timing is important because if you're not ready to be the type of partner that is needed, then even if it is somebody good, it's like, yeah, but this just it's not gonna work
And let
because
me say this. And how can you show up for them the way they need to if you can't show up for you the way you need to?
yeah, yeah. And a lot of times I don't think we realize it. I don't think we realize that I think so. I think for me, I'll speak for me. I didn't realize until I was in it that I couldn't show up. And the mistake that I made was once I realized it, no, so let me back up. Once it didn't work, instead of, and then this is to your other point, I think
Yes.
that no matter what, when you end a relationship, you should focus on on you. Like even in my divorce, the question, the valuable time, the valuable learning came when I stopped worrying about what she did and only focused on what I did. And so
Hmm.
because I could always rationalize why I did what I did. But to me, this is for me, if I'm really the type of man that I want to be, then what she does doesn't dictate how I move because I'm a man, and as the man, I have to respond the way I'm supposed to respond, even if she is wrong. Matter of fact, let me rephrase that,
Talk to them.
especially when she is wrong. So everybody don't have to feel like this, am and still am learning that no matter how my partner responds, I still have to respond the way that I know I am supposed to respond and show up the way I'm supposed to show up, irregardless of what she does. And so we can't do that if, like you said, if I need you to always affirm or stroke or do, you know what I mean? Because you can't do that. They can't do that. So now, so to me, it's more is I need to be in the right frame of mind. I need to be in the right, headspace. I need to have my heart a certain way. I need to have my life in a certain order. And again, it doesn't mean I'm not saying perfect, because that's not it at all. But I have to be in a place where at least I'm headed in that direction and I'm in touch and in tune with where I am and who I am. So now
So
I
so
know I'm off.
so back to Dad's question. All right. So you're in a relationship, it's looking good, and you come to the point where you realize maybe there is some things that I need to work on. What then? And when?
And I think you just have to be honest. Like, before I answer that, if you'll allow me, Donnell, I want to ask Winford. So when this other this relationship came up at the end of the other relationship, did it look like a blessing to you? Like, oh man, God has blessed me. You know, my best thing has come right after the worst time in my life. I knew it was coming. God's gonna do, all that stuff. I think that we ought to be wary of those kind of things.
And then
Because
on top of it, I'm gonna tell you. So for me, for those who don't know my story, then like a pastor actually told me God had never blessed you with another woman. And so when this one came, I'm like, see, you were wrong. Nah, no, you.
come on.
So
Come
yeah,
on.
absolutely. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you just that was just to prove him wrong. But and I can understand the angle that Donnell's coming from, because like, okay, so now I'm in this, I realize I haven't healed, I've got some stuff to work on, and if I don't work on this stuff alone, then it could potentially wreck and ruin this person. How then do I come to that person and tell them, now that emotions are intertwined and interwoven and attached, that I need to detach from you to work on myself without destroying that other person? And at that point, I don't think you can do anything except for tell the truth. Donnell, you mentioned that some things have happened because you realize that. Now, of course, you don't have to be mean about it, but you have to say, we can't go any further, because I'm realizing there's things that are coming up that are going on the inside of me, conversations that I'm having with myself. temptations to go back to certain actions that I know will devalue you and will also hurt you. I've been trying to suppress these things. I'm at a point in the relationship now that whatever happened in this last relationship is getting ready to happen again. And I know that if I don't end this now, it's going to hurt worse later.
Oh, that's good. That's
than it hurts
good.
now. So it's time for me to back out. This has nothing to do with you. There's no one else. This has everything to do with me. I did not properly do my own internal due diligence
Right. I like it.
before I got in this relationship. And I think you just be honest about that.
That's beautiful.
So,
She gonna be like, the Holy Spirit said you was my
but
husband.
let me tell you something. So interesting. So here's another way though. So Dan is absolutely correct, but I think depending on the person, like it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to end the relationship. Like there are sometimes that you can still do that. Like you said, tell the truth. And she has the grace to help walk you through or walk with you, as you're going through. So I think, like Dan said, the most important part is to actually tell the truth and then give her the opportunity to make the decision whether or not she wants to walk with you through, or for her to say, you know what, Kels always says, listen, I done gave my time to try to help somebody. I'm not doing that no more. And that's fine. But to tell the truth and say, this is where I am. This is what I recognize, that this is when we have conflict. This is what this conflict does to me and brings up. And so, you know what? I need work. And then here is, I'm going to tell you something. And for people who are listening, I'm going to tell you something that for most women, to hear a man say, you know what, in this area, I need some work, and this is my plan. I'm going to go get some therapy. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to do that. They'd be like, oh, that's attractive. Hold on. Because it's very rare that men can say, number one, I need help. And number two, I'm going to go put a plan together and go get this help. Because now in her mind, if he could put a plan together over here, then he going to put a plan together over here.
Absolutely.
Home. So it's not something that as men that we have to hide and pretend like we can't do, or that we have to have shame about. It's actually something that the right woman will find attractive, and it will activate her to step up and say, you know what, I got you. Go ahead and do what you need to do.
Yeah,
or the right man. So let's flip it. Let's say
absolutely.
Let's say if it's the woman, if that person, and I like what you said, bringing in that contingency. If that person responds something like this, and they say, so how are we going to deal with that? And they just in that position, I refuse to leave. Now because what it's done is it's set a foundation for communication that's going to last into the future. You don't have to live in shame, resentment, or regret that person. Because in a relationship, I don't think people realize this. So whether there are financial problems, whether there's infidelity, whether there is issues with children, whatever the case may be, all of those to me are symptoms. Everything boils down back to communication, your willingness or unwillingness to communicate about those things. And then when communication is stifled and connection is not possible, that's when those things actually blow up and you start hiding stuff. So if a person says, in the midst of me pouring my heart out and saying I have to back out of this because maybe my reason for backing out is because I'm expecting rejection once I say this. So maybe I'm expecting rejection. Well, once that person says, no, we're going to work this out, I accept you as you are. Now I know I've got something good.
Listen. Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. I told you that's what happened to me. I told y'all a couple weeks ago on Clubhouse. Look, you couldn't ask me to say something. And I said something, and Jamie was like, well, that's fine. I was like,
yeah.
I said, Lord, every kiss begins with K. Hold on, wait a minute. I could talk to you like this. Oh, okay, shoot, all right, my Lord. So, yeah, absolutely. Rob says, stop telling her what she wants to hear and tell the truth.
Come on,
absolutely,
unapologetically.
That's right,
man. There is some power in an understanding that you can have a mutually healthy, beneficial partnership with somebody, because I think that is one of the most beautiful things and significant when it comes to just a relationship. Let's say it's not even intimate, but like a real relationship. And I think that's what we miss out on, because having the authentic conversation with that builds a friendship. And at the end of the day, if you was to ask me, man, I would rather have that with my wife than to have the intimate aspect that stimulates people to want to have that drive to go out from full fledged. You know what I'm saying? Because that stuff is tough. That's really the hard work, to be honest with you.
Man.
When you know you got to work on yourself, especially for men.
Yep.
Because we're used to just suppressing everything, you know?
Absolutely. Let me cover these comments real quick. Cicely says, at times, though, I agree with Dan that he needs to be undistracted so that he knows he's doing it for his well-being because he's worth it and not for a prize, since many men are driven by that. Absolutely.
Yep.
That's true.
Absolutely.
That's good.
That's real good.
Yep. Big Rob says, honesty out of the gate. Honesty out of the gate would possibly allow the rejection to happen immediately versus waiting and holding the truth.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
So he basically is like, man, I'd rather deal with the pressure up front, knowing whatever's gonna happen here now instead of waiting 10, 20 talk.
Yep. Shatoria says women need to be mature to handle a man's realness and heart. Absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. Damon says, don't assume you know what she wants to hear. Have the courage to ask, the patience to listen, and the wisdom to catch the message.
Go, best friend.
Come on.
That's my dog, boy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Whew. Y'all got anything else to add on that one?
No, that was good, man.
That was only one. That was the first one. Okay.
One. Yeah.
I really like that one.
Okay, man. Whew. All right.
Good volley. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this one y'all like.
Ooh, this next one.
Here we go. All right, y'all. Listen, as we talk about this, of course, keep commenting. Y'all keep sharing, keep tagging your people to come into this conversation. All right, next question. Why not date someone who doesn't believe in God? Shouldn't behavior matter more than belief? I'm going to read it one more time. Why not date someone who doesn't believe in God? This is assuming you do. Shouldn't behavior matter more than belief? Since I started off with Dan the last time, Danielle, you go first on this one.
Yeah, please.
Man, see, I believe the importance of belief since I've been studying this over the past few weeks, man. What you believe in shapes your psyche, which shapes your reality, which shapes the nature of your beingness. And so whenever you don't have a person that truly aligns with what you may believe in, and I'm not, undervaluing the significance of character, because character is powerful. Seeing a person for who they are is powerful. But I want to say, when it hits them hard bumps in the road and it truly goes down to the nature of who you are, it's going to be really tough to have a truly in-depth, intimate relationship with somebody if the harmony is not there. All right. And so for me, I would say if there was one reason why I probably would not date someone that doesn't believe in God, it was because I understand the importance of what that means for my life. And I can accept a person for who they are, me personally, but I understand there's going to be a level of intimacy that I want to experience with that person when it comes to union. And if we're on two different wavelengths, there's going to be bumps in the road that we may have to deal with. And I would hate for her to have to go through that, or hate for her to have to deal with that with me. What do I think when I say this? I think about what's my girls? Sierra and right?
Russell,
mm-hmm. Right? Two individuals. It's not that they didn't believe in God or not, right? But it's just that at one center and point, they had two different values, two amazing people. But because of the purpose and calling on his life, there was only a certain amount of intimacy that they can experience. So I feel like if a person doesn't have the same belief, that there may be some interruption in regards to a pathway and journey of their relationship. Is it possible? Yes. Could it work for me? Possibly not, because I'm an on-fire person. So at one point in time, that person going to feel like they're competing with the belief and the love and, zeal I have for God. So I'll pass it to you, Dan.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to deal with the last part of shouldn't behavior matter more than belief. That's impossible because the two are inextricably tied together. It's impossible. And this is where people make a lot of mistakes. So I'm gonna come through the back door on this one. For behavior, behavior comes from belief.
Absolutely.
That's where it comes from. So a lot of people, when they want to change the results and experiences that they're having, they try to change their behavior, not understanding that that came from your belief system. No one has ever done anything on this earth that you didn't believe. Now, you may not be aware of where that behavior is tied to belief, but you did something because you believed it.
Is it?
It's like you can't live above that. That's a physiological truth. It's how you're made.
Yep.
So you've got a belief system that produces the majority of your thoughts. Those thoughts produce feelings and emotions. Those emotions produce behaviors. Those behaviors produce the results and experiences you see. So people say, well, it is just the way it is. No, it's not the way it is. It's the way you believe. Your inner world creates your outer world experience. You cannot get away from that. So if a person doesn't believe in God, when you start making decisions about money, when you start making decisions about children, when you start making decisions about the bedroom, start making decisions about health, and wherever that those answers and solutions are coming from, that's coming from that person's belief system, whether they're aware of that belief system or not. So here's what I understand: that a truth or belief rather is whatever you assume to be true.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's true or not. You believe it. So a lie believed as truth will operate in your life as truth, even though it's a lie.
Absolutely.
So whatever that person believes, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, even if that person is not
Absolutely
aware of where it's coming from. So even though they think they don't believe, the fact that you have behaviors that can create experiences, you believe something, you just don't know what you believe.
That's right.
Or you don't know where it originated from.
Yeah, you don't know where it originates from. So I want to know or help you discover what you believe in. It does matter what you believe, because that is what's bringing your behaviors, which is going to bring the kinds of experiences that we have in our life. And if my quality of life is coming and it's an abundant life and it's coming from God, and that's how I know I'm getting the word. If you don't have alignment and you're not centered with me, we're not going to get to the same place. Because so you make a decision. Decisions lead to destinations. You can't have one origin and then have a totally different destination. No, every origin has a distinct and definite destination, and we're really talking about alignment here. So if you don't have alignment, then you're going to have a misalignment. What happens when your car? And I'll end here. What happens when your car? What happens? It starts pulling you this way. And if you've got a different belief system, which goes to a different destination, then what's going to happen is you're going to be pulling me this way, or I'm going to be pulling you this way, and we're going to be out of alignment, and then eventually somewhere we don't want to be. So just the question itself, actually answers itself. You cannot separate belief and behavior.
Yeah. Hey, gas is too high for y'all to be having misalignment.
So let me throw this question back out to the floor. So, can you have the same belief if one believes in God and the other doesn't?
I think it's possible.
So, because the original question is really talking about one being, let's just say, Christian, the other, not, or one being atheist, so is if the question is the same belief system, can you date someone and it be well beneficial, whatever, if you don't have the same belief system, if you still have the same belief? So I'll leave it there.
I mean, you can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've even seen it work. So I'm gonna throw out a name that Winfred would know. So Dr. Joanne Clark, when I was at Langston, I was over her house all the time, driving her in her husband's car. Her daughter, they were Christian. They grew up in a Presbyterian church, but they were Christian. She married a Muslim, and they've been married, still been married today. So they have beliefs that align somewhere along the way. So both of them have monotheistic, religions. Both of them believe in morality. Both of them believe in integrity and character. So even though they have two different origin points, there are similarities and commonalities enough to make that relationship work. So yeah, it can happen for sure.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, there's sometimes where just the spirit of a person, the beauty that they bring, how they provide, a lot of those amazing qualities outshine some of the constructs that we've been raised to idolize or attach to or identify as. So yeah, it's definitely possible.
Yeah. I think so. I'm gonna agree. I think that the difference is that the way it has to work in the ways that it works in the situations I've seen is number one, Dan, to your point, there has to be some enough similarities in the systems that the beliefs align. And two, there has to be such a respect for the other person's belief system that
Yeah.
that they would not
Right.
violate, try to, you might make, I've seen them like they make little jokes about it, but not like offend the other person's system. And they, even though they don't agree with it, they support the other person in their agreement with it.
Absolutely.
So those are the only, as I thought through this, I'm like in the situations, and I've seen several of them, whether it be in counseling, whether it be pastoral work, stuff like, where I've seen them like, well, yeah, I mean, this is how I say, but those are the similarities that I would say that I find in all of that actually do work. Now, do I, suggest it? No, but I mean, don't nobody come to me to ask if they should date anyway. So
Yeah.
it's like they usually come to us by the time they already dating, and then we got to figure that part out. So yeah, I don't.
So the
Man,
question comes in, storms in your life come, right? Whether they are internal or external, extended family. So what happens? What are we going to do? Are we going to pray? Are we going to be a nervous wreck? I mean, that's where beliefs come in.
I agree.
You get to see people's beliefs in the heat of battle. What are we going to do when problems arise? Because the first solution that comes out of your mouth, again, is coming from a belief system.
Right.
How you handle those things. So you already have something in working order that's a blueprint on your brain. You just may not know it. So people make decisions later in life. Oh, I'm an atheist, or I don't believe in this. But you don't know what you believe until you get into the foxhole of life.
Right.
You don't really know, because that's when your most authentic, genuine self. When your back is up against the wall and you don't know what to do, what is the first thing that comes to your mind of what you run to? And you need to try to find some way to simulate that in the dating period before you make a commitment. I know that's another show, but you need to find out what that is before you make that last.
I think you also have to. I think that also depends on what you need in that moment, because
Right.
there are some, like for me, I know that like when I get to the point, like when you get to a certain point, like there are things that I value, like in that, to your point, Dan, like if I don't necessarily need somebody to pray with me, but I need somebody to support me in other ways that that are necessary, that if we don't have the same belief system probably won't work, because or I might do some things like I'm walk around the house speaking in tongues, and you might be like,
but the crazy thing is that contrast can really complement a relationship in extraordinary ways.
Yeah.
If you are willing to put your pride to the side and evaluate how you can complement each other as far as that partnership.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've seen it happen before. It's a beautiful thing. It does take a level of maturity. Yeah.
It takes a huge level of maturity that most
right. Right.
Which is why I think a lot of times we just be like, don't do it. Because then I have to also be honest, and I know y'all agree with me, like this idea, back to the original first part of the question, like I think when people hear this, sometimes they automatically assume we're like, well, if we're both Christian, we're cool. No.
Absolutely.
That's not even, like y'all can both have the same belief system and still not have the same beliefs. So like we have to your point, now we got to have these deeper conversations to figure out, again, what do you need? What does your belief system, what does the outer workings of what you believe look like? Like what does that do? So yeah, absolutely.
Because some of these belief systems be layered anyway. You sitting there thinking you got the whole word down, and you meet Dan where he breaking stuff down to Greek, Hebrew. Whole time I think I'm living by the word. The Father said the two should be one, but hold on, the one means right. Oh.
All right, let me go through some of these comments. KG said, because God is the leader of my household, how can you not believe in the leader? Yeah. Teresa Brown. Hey, Teresa says there will likely be conflict at some time in the relationship with two different beliefs. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Shanae says, I dated a guy that had different beliefs. He believed in God, but was a traditional Christian. Me not celebrating holidays was a huge deal. I can't imagine what I'd be like with someone who doesn't believe at all.
See, that comes down to your values. So what you value something two different things, and that's why it's important, man. Values really do drive the nature of who a person is as far as their experiences and how they want their life to look like.
Yep.
That can tell you feel like you compromise your sense of self-worth. How much are you willing to compromise is the real question.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So when we're talking about values, we're basically talking about how a person expresses those beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So maybe even we're saying that values are maybe even more important than beliefs, because how you express them and how they're demonstrated in your life could mean more than the belief itself.
Say it again.
Oh.
So your value system would be the expression and demonstration of those beliefs, and that could be more important than the belief, because maybe you have a value system and you don't know it that doesn't match your belief. You think you believe in
That's true.
but your values in terms of how you live out that belief is actually completely different and counterintuitive to what you believe. So I think that maybe sometimes conflict in a relationship is pretty good, because maybe you think you believe something, but you really don't, because your behavior actually demonstrates that this is your belief system by the values you express.
That's good. That's good. That's
And
good.
sometimes wondering if it's even valid, if it's beneficial, because sometimes your own values could be holding you back from getting somewhere that need to be. And sometimes it takes for you to be somebody that's not in alignment with you for you to see it for yourself.
That's good.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Be over eating this fried chicken. My wife want me to eat tofu. This is stupid, bro. I hate it here. But she like, baby, I just want you to live longer. So we're gonna have tofu for this one Thanksgiving. Man, we ain't got the same beliefs. Shut it now. I'm out of here.
Since we were simply perform behavior and it's not even authentically them. Absolutely. Listen, we'll act to get what we want.
Hey man, it's tax season, bro. Stop talking like that. Stay woke, kings.
Was it set what Big Rob said? Unfortunately, at times people only see what they're looking at and want it immediately without discussing or considering each other's beliefs at all. Absolutely.
Wow.
Listen.
True. It's true.
Look, I done said it several times. She's so fine, I don't care about the rest.
Right.
Straight up.
That's how men do. They'll say, "Oh, that's wife." How you know?
She's so fine. Look, I don't even. I'm good. The Lord is spoken to me. She is. After a month, he like, never mind. Never mind. Been there. Oh, whew. This is true. Core values are everything. Definitions of them are important for that harmony. Absolutely.
Amen. And inner harmony as well. Because sometimes if you go out to somebody and don't understand what is truly important to you, and you think you want to just have that person in because of how amazing they are, you'll find out that you're compromising your sense of self-value for the expense of just having company.
Facts.
And then be sitting up there, why? How come what I think and how I feel isn't important to you? Because how you think and feel isn't important to you. How are you going to expect them to be able to respect it when you didn't respect it? I'm just saying.
Absolutely. That's good.
And that just takes me back to what Dr. Miles Monroe said, that wherever purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable.
Come on, bro. Come on, man.
So a lot of relationships don't work because the why of the relationship was never established at the genesis of it. You just wanted to be with somebody, maybe because you saw everyone else with someone, or because you feel lonely, or because you're lonely, and that's not even a good enough reason. Even when people talk about, it's better to marry than to burn, I'm like, okay, please read what he said again. He's not saying do this. He's saying this is like the worst reason to do it. But if you just got to do it for that reason, do it. It's not the best reason. So if you don't know the purpose of a wife, you'll abuse her in any kind of way. If you don't know the purpose of a husband, you'll abuse him. Yep. If you don't know the purpose of your body, your mind, you'll abuse anything that you have not discovered the purpose of. What is the purpose? The reason, the why, the original intent. Those are all the things that you need to discover before you make a commitment to anything in your life.
That scripture is crazy, bro. Did you hear him? It's better for you to yield to compulsions if you don't have self-control. That's basically what they're saying.
Yeah. And this is like
it doesn't get easier after that either.
It's a last ditch effort. People say, "Oh man, now that I'm married, you know, those things are going to go away." People never want to cross boundaries until a boundary is put up.
Yeah.
The fact that you put a fence up and say do not enter, now it creates a desire for me to want to enter it because you said do not enter.
Absolutely.
So people don't understand how passions and desires, how they're actually created. If everybody's looking at their phone or their computer or their tablet right now and they got it in front of them, they're not touching it. If I say don't touch it, you didn't even think about touching it until I said don't do it.
Absolutely.
So prohibitions create desire.
Yeah.
Yep. And so it's just human nature. It's stuff we don't understand, and we need to understand it so we can start living better quality of life.
I think that's why it's so important, man. I heard like younger guys that I be mentoring, they're like, man, I just want to holler. I'm like, bro, what about your purpose?
Right.
What about your purpose? I'd rather you pursue your purpose so God can equip you with your helpmate instead of your helpmate. And then she got to figure out where the blueprint at because you ain't even equipped to be in alignment with what you call the be, bro. This stems from your identity. That needs to be built before you bring somebody else in the picture. Come on, bro.
And listen, and how many, if we actually are honest, can say if we step back culturally, let's just be real. If we culturally stepped back and listen to what women are saying, they are not begging for men to do exactly what you just said. They're begging, like to the point now where it's like, come on, we just come on, just be in purpose, do something.
Yeah,
come on,
nothing.
Like let's come on, give me something to work with. Like,
hey, listen, and for you fellas that trying to figure out what your purpose is, I'm glad you asked. We got a masterclass coming up April 2nd. Me and Dr. David are going to be partnered with Rose State, where you can figure out what is my purpose, what is my God calling that God has for me, that you can develop that God for this that Pastor Dan has been talking about. And we got 3 sponsored tickets. Holler at your boy, man. We got you. Let's go.
Absolutely.
For real.
Yeah. So for what he just said, if y'all missed it, both myself and Dan and said, if there's a man who wants to go and who wants to go and cannot go, you can't afford the ticket. I said I'll sponsor the first one. Daniel said he got the second one, and Dan said he got the third one. So put them in the comments. We got you. So
yeah, man, we got
put in the comments, inbox me. We'll take care of it. So
Hey, Damon, put Manhood Masterclass. Oh, she said she'll sponsor one too. That's fire.
Sponsor one too. All right, so that's 4.
That's awesome. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. So let me see what she says. Cicely says, and then they learn that sex doesn't solve problems, which is huge error that bites them after I do. Yep.
That's true.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's true. That's one of the hardest lessons, especially if you're growing up. And in our culture, we're taught, reward. Your sense of self-worth comes down to the reward and how much you can attain. And so it's so hard to get to that relationship with a person and finally find out, like, hey, there's more layers of intimacy. So you saying I ain't gonna get no play? Oh man. Truly find out what a relationship is for when you finally get to that point, man.
You'll never listen, and the truth is, you'll never have to worry about getting some if you do it the right way.
Is that true, Winford?
Never.
Is that true?
It's true.
You never have to worry about getting play if you do it the right way. We're gonna have a conversation on Clubhouse about that.
Never.
Tap in.
Never. It might. Listen, Never. You'll have to listen. You might have, because now it becomes about doing it not just for the purpose, not just for the sake of doing it, but you value it more. Number one, and number two, the person who you're with,
Mhm.
the person who you are with recognizes that to them to you they are more than just something that you sleep with. They want something,
Love is an act of worship.
and it causes a response.
That's true. That's
So
true.
if I recognize that you love me, then my response is to try to please you.
That's
Like,
right.
you
Talk to him. Come on,
loving
man.
me too good to not do nothing for
Come
you.
He's already answered it now.
This is the whole, listen, Dan, if we was preaching, this would be where you hoop, right? Like, this
Yeah.
is the whole purpose of like, I have no choice. I'm compelled to serve you, to take care of you, to make sure you okay, because man, look at how good you taking care of
Man,
me.
that's good.
You'll never have
Good.
to worry about it.
That's good, boy.
Come on.
All right,
Come on.
let's keep going. Come on.
Yeah.
That was only the second one. My
I
goodness.
know.
The next one, bro. I see the next one. Let's talk about this, bro.
Let's go. So
Oh yeah.
on the podcast, and and this is what he said on the podcast. The young brother says that high earning women are less attractive. He said, because who wants you after you have achieved this level of financial success?
Man, say how he said it. Look, man, the chick came and hollered at me. She said, I got a house, I got a job, I got a degree, my credit's good. He said, oh, man, you don't even need a man. What you need a man for? You disqualified yourself. That was his words.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
Yeah, I'm a little confused.
I got twofold. I feel like I understand it a little bit. Twofold.
Go ahead.
First
But-
fold, I was thinking. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I'll ask the question. It's another question, but I'll ask it after you make your statement.
Okay. So this is my twofold, because I asked a bunch of people this question, even the guys in my group, like, I don't understand it. So do we want a woman that doesn't have all her stuff together? Are we turned off by a woman who has handled her business to the point to where she doesn't need a man, but she would like a man? I heard a guy say this. Sometimes women that are independent women have hyper masculinity. And so if she's only getting the man just to have another check off the list, she doesn't truly value what a man brings. She's just doing it just to prove that all her accolades that she can have a man as well. That's what he said.
And there's some truth to that. There's a segment of the population that is absolutely true.
What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think there are probably women out there like that, but I think they're probably more the exception than the norm. What I struggle with a little bit is, the things that he named off that this woman has achieved and accomplished, and he says, now you want a man, that somehow a man replaces those things, or if she has a man, she doesn't need those things. Those things just sound like things you need to accomplish in life to live.
Right.
You need a good credit score. You need to have done something for yourself. As a man, those are things that I would be looking for, so that you're not putting a burden on me past what my role is anyway. I don't want to have to raise you. Why am I raising you? That just seems like good life stuff that you need to have. You should be expecting the same thing me. So that's why I said I'm confused. I'm just really confused about and what kind of people are you hanging around that every successful woman you see that as an affront to your manhood. I don't understand that.
Man.
I miss that. So here's Dan. I think that a person who thinks like this, and he later admits, has had women who have high value or high earning women,
Yeah.
who have tried to, in his opinion, that's not the word he used, but he felt very emasculated. They wanted to run the relationship, and so for him, that's where it was an attack on his masculinity. Now, and I absolutely understand that, because there is a segment of the population who thinks that because she earns more than you, that now somehow she's your mama, She's, talks to you like she's your mother or your manager, your at work. So, but by and large, even those women are like that because they've never met a man who has been secure enough to walk
Absolutely.
the situation and say, listen, I appreciate what you do and what you do at work. At work is what you do at work. In this house, we are a partnership. And
Right.
we running this company together. You're not
Absolutely.
I'm not your employee. You're not my employee. So let's figure this out. Let's work this together. Like, they're not used to somebody doing that. And that's what most of them actually want. At least the ones that I know. The ones that I know are like, hey, I might make more money, but I still I need you to do all these other things. I need you for these things right here that I can't do and I can't get from work. So you stepping in and doing those automatically puts her in her more feminine role, more, and they're just not used to it. Like the ones that I know, they're just not used to it. And so once you let them, all right, you done? All right, now I'm not your employee. Sit down. We about to do this. We're gonna do this, that, and they like, oh, okay, I got a man, and they
Absolutely
immediately come bring it on down. So
yeah, there's a certain type of demeanor that comes with that, being able to govern it in such a way that a woman is willing to yield her trust in that, especially if she's used to having that drive to accommodate the things that she desires to have happen. You know what I'm saying? If a woman pursues you in that, it's because she sees value that goes beyond or complements the other things that she's achieved for herself. So if a man says automatically, I feel like you disqualified, it's like, bro, nah, you probably feel a little bit, insecure because of some of the things she said, and I can understand it because you want to figure out where your role is within the engagement with her. But I wouldn't say she's all around disqualified.
Right.
If anything, if you're a go-getter, that should probably pique your interest even more.
Yeah, if you're that type of man, like if you're that type of man who's not, then that would absolutely then make you agitate you, because now it's like, man, it points out just how much of a go-getter you are not.
That's true.
And I'm not trying to, of course, we're not trying to bash men. Obviously, we're men, but let's just think about in the context of marriage. So if I'm thinking about this from a slightly biblical standpoint, a woman was called to be a helpmeet to a man.
Right.
The question is, and here's a question that every man needs to think about, especially if he's thinking about being in a committed relationship and having some expectation of a woman. When she comes to you, what is it that you're doing that she can help you with?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Do you have it? Is there? Because if you don't have anything for her to help you with, you become a project to her. So you feel like she's emasculating you because you don't have a vision, you don't have a purpose, you don't have direction. It's in her. It's built into her creation to help you. So that now I'm going Proverbs 31 for you to be praised through the gates.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
She's built that way. But if you don't have anything, and this is an ode to women, you need to ask him, what do you have going on? Now, I used to say this, you used to hear all this all the time on all the movies, all the black movies growing up. Does he have a job?
Right.
Does he have a job? Listen, you need to ask, does he have a vision?
Right.
Because he could have a job and no vision, and 20 years later, he's still at the same job and you guys are still in the same place.
Right. Absolutely.
So you need to understand that when she comes into your life, there's something she's coming into your life to help you with the thing that you've been given in terms of vision. So this is critical for us to understand. And men, we need to. My business coach is a woman. She's highly successful. She makes high 5 figures a month, and she says, she told me, she said, I want a man in my life. I want a covering. I want to provide. I want to source for other things. She said, she said, I hate these people who go around and say, I don't need a man. She said, I don't understand that. She said, there are things I can't do. There are things I don't want to do. Mm-hmm. That I know that she says, I make a lot of money. She says, but that has nothing to do with me and how I am towards my man. She separates those two. She says, I'll never even bring that up. She said, because that has nothing to do with who I am as a person towards him.
Man,
listen,
come on.
So I got an inbox when I posted this question, and the person said they couldn't post, and her response was, she said, I make way more than every man that I've ever. She said the issue for me is not the money. She said the issue for me is, number one, his ability to lead, his ability to cover, she said, and his ability to his desire to want to get up and go. She's like, I just need something. She's like, the fact that he's doing something. She's like, I don't care if you make $30,000. She said, I just like to see that masculine energy of what's hot. She's like, and the problem is for her that a lot of times, the guys get lazy. But she's like, but that's what attracts me. She's like, I don't care that I make what I make more than the other guys, and that is a typical response that I hear from ladies who are in this scenario. And again, my response to her was similar to what one of the commenters said, is that a lot of times, again, the ladies who get like this, they be very disrespectful. They don't want to listen. They don't want to have conversations. Like, there's no such thing as as us coming together and trying to agreement. This is my money. I'm gonna do what I want. And I'm like, well, then that's the woman who this doesn't, that you.
Well, then I wouldn't say that has so much to do with the accolades and the drive and the ambitions. I would say that has something more to do with what's driving her behaviorally. Look, that's coming from a real unhealthy space. You know what I'm saying? If you're coming at it like that, that's real egotistical. That's definitely some pain or trauma or something that you deal with. That's your giants. I don't want nothing to do with that. So if you was to say something like that, hey, I understand that, sis. All right. But whenever you're talking about really getting a relationship with someone that could really benefit your life, then that's a whole nother story. That's your journey, though. So, KG said she's a dragon unicorn fairy. I'm done with KG.
Well, he said everybody should throw this secure word around. What does that mean?
I think secure is being a whole functioning being, not necessarily dependent on the actions and behaviors or thoughts of anyone else that's around you. You're fully full of yourself, your beingness. Like when Winfrey said this, the way that I treat a woman has nothing to do with her. She can be acting however she wants to act, but that doesn't get to dictate the way that I react from her being that way. That's being secure. That is knowing that I don't lack anything. I don't lack anything. I love to have a person in my life, but at the end of the day, I am full, complete by myself, because that is the way that God created me.
Right. Yeah, I think that being secure means that someone else's success doesn't cause you to feel intimidation. It causes you to feel ignition.
That's good.
Like that, it should inspire you.
And
then why not think of it this way? It's a blessing that this person came into my life, because there's some things I can learn that I didn't know how to do. I'm asking questions, male or female. How did you get there? What was the process? Because we got different backgrounds. We're merging two different worlds and cultures and environments together. What steps did you take? I don't care if you're a woman. I don't care if you're a man. Listen, success leaves clues. What happened in your life that caused you to make certain decisions that brought about these results? I want to know. I'm thankful to have met you. Let's go get it together even more. That's where I am.
And let me tell you, bro, that's where adventure really does show up in life. That is the nature. I mean, expansion is the nature of our evolution. That's what having a growth mindset really does become critical in living a fulfilled life. Is when you can see somebody like, damn, you're really getting it. That inspires me to figure out how, when, and where.
What
it's
you
dope,
doing?
man.
Learn. Like what you doing? Learn.
You know what I'm saying? Come be my mentor. You know what I'm saying?
I do it. Listen, what I do, I'm like, damn, that thing you posted. That how you do that?
Right.
Look, I don't. Hey, Donnell, how you do that? Like, I want to know. Like, why?
Yeah.
That doesn't make me any less of a man. Look,
it does not.
Be the first one. Hey, Q. I don't. And I tell anybody, like, when we do this, like this show, people are like, well, this is yours. Okay, yeah, but there is not a move I make that I don't go to Kels and Q and be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Tell me. And usually like 5 times out of 10, they like, you lost your mind. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
But they're like, okay, or let's walk through it. Like giving it to them because they have their own set of skills and gifts and talents. They automatically like, or I'll get an idea and they'll be like, yeah, I got this. And Q will go like, all the marketing and stuff that y'all see, she do all that. I don't really do that because I'm not, that's her gift. Like, and she'll be like, Rogue, I got it. Don't worry. Kels, no, do it like, okay. And I just sit here and be like,
man, listen, sometimes being like showing that sense of humility is really leveraging your leadership. Baby, look, there's things that I cannot do that you do very well. My wife is super OCD, super detail oriented. Look, man, I'm a big vision person. I'll fall in a hole walking down the street. I'm telling you, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Yep. Hold on. What did you say, Dr. Dan, man?
Yeah.
Secure means not succumbing to fear of loss when things are not easy or going as planned. When we fear loss, we either withdraw or try to control. Hold on, where to go? Try to control things or people. Fear won't let others lead when it is appropriate in business, family, direction, lifestyle, etc.
Listen, bro.
Sir.
Nothing challenges the dynamics of a person's being like fear. God, man. I'm telling you, bro. You should read that again, bro. I'm telling you, fear. I'm saying we just don't talk about it enough in relationships. Even the fact that I feel like I may have to brag about all my accolades, that's fear-based. A man saying, hey, you disqualified yourself as fear-based because I'm afraid this woman's going to show me up. A woman going to be like, I'm afraid that I can't trust this man. He going to be depending on what I got going on. Afraid that she may have to raise a man who's, mentally, physically immature, both of it.
Yep. All around. And then we listen, then too afraid to say that we're afraid.
Absolutely.
Meantime, your relationship is falling apart. All right.
Hey, let's talk about how a mere comment triggered a response and a reaction. And it was defensive on top of that.
Right.
If that doesn't say fear.
Right.
Come on.
Right. All right. Let's jump to this one. Number 4? Yeah, 4. All right.
Is it 4? Okay, it is 4. Okay.
Number 4. We got, okay, come on. Well, I gotta make this a big. All right. Whew. All right, here we go. Husband wants an open relationship until I lose weight. So during COVID and quarantine, I put some weight in. Y'all stop so I can read it. During COVID and quarantine, I put in some weight, and because of that, my husband has been very vocal about him finding me too big and not attracted to me. But today he told me he wants an open relationship until I've lost weight and weigh the same as I used to so that he finds me attractive. Don't know how to feel about it. I've told him I will start going to the gym, but that didn't make him change his mind. I have saved some money for a gym membership and clothes, so I'm preparing to start, but it kind of hurt me when he said he wanted to sleep with another woman until I lost some weight. Is this normal? I get that he doesn't like that I've gained weight, but I'm trying to work on it. But I just feel like it would be nice with some support from him instead of him being with another woman until I'm more fit. I don't know.
Man, can I play devil's advocate to get this interesting? I feel like we need some contrast. Run it, Dan. Run it.
This is really sad. And I'll let you do the contrast. I'll just do the obvious, right? But so my wife and I, this makes me think of a situation. We were counseling a couple like 5. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're her brothers. I was like, knock this dude out. But we were counseling a couple, and the guy just he said, you know what? He was from the East Coast. He said, man, you know what, fam? He said, I'm just gonna be honest with you. She's just not that intelligent. This is what he said. I mean, this is verbatim. This is what he said. And then here's what she said, which reminds me of the frame of mind that this young lady has. She said, oh, don't worry about that. He said it all the time. He don't mean that. I'm like, no, he does. He absolutely means every word that he said. To stay in this relationship where you've been devalued it's the diminishing and deprecation of yourself is going to be to such a degree, even if you do it. So my suggestion would be to her, get the gym membership, leave a note that you're gone. Go ahead and lose the weight and never look back. Because if he just what he just told you is the depth of his love for you is only skin deep. I mean, this is traumatizing, because if this young lady goes forward with this, then she has lost herself within herself almost forever. Like when I see, I'm just like, KG, man, where are our brothers? I mean, this incenses me, because I'm like, what in the world? So now what? Like he's gonna quit the open relationship once you get back.
Man, that man already in a
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's my answer. You want to play devil's advocate, Donnell?
No, I do not. You know why? Because I have all daughters, and I value a woman's worth, and it's Women's International Day, bro. I will not. I shall not. But what I will do is I'll play veto. Girl, get your credit. That's what I would do.
Yeah. When I read that, I was like,
I got a question for you. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? That's it.
Is what part
honestly
worth
it? Is any of it worth it, fam? Like, honestly, to be in that position, first of all, I feel for her. I'm sorry that even had to come out, because there's no way you could ignore anything like that. However, if a person shows that, you can't fault it. I appreciate you showing what you truly value. At the end of the day, this is not what I truly want to have for my relationship. I love you, but I'm good, you know? Yeah. However, I mean, there are people that say, hey, baby, you willing to try something new? Okay, we can work it out, because we're in a marriage, and that's what we do in marriages. But, I mean, you got to be able to draw the line and understand that your value should not be predicated upon somebody else. And the fact that he doesn't have enough respect to say it, like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad he came out and said it. It's hard for him to speak what he values, but that just, I don't know.
Had he, I'm okay with a person saying, like, your spouse saying you lose weight. Like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
It's the next step that's problematic for me. Like, you want to go in an open relationship because I gained some weight? Those are almost two totally separate issues. Like, open relationship, weight, like, are not the same. If she's not attracted, okay, so you don't want to have sex with her, or do you want to have sex with both of them? What is your? I would just rather you just say, I want an open relationship.
Yeah, because that's really what it is. Yeah. You were just waiting for something to spark this conversation, just so you can say you have something. But, bro, that's a big leap.
You just want to enter a relationship. Just be like, look, I'm tired of this. I want an open relationship. I want
You've been waiting on some sort of thing to happen so that you can ask this question. I don't, and then it speaks to your lack of leadership. Because a real man, even though that's a hard thing to bring up, a woman to a man or a man to a woman about weight, it's a hard thing to bring up. But you can approach it from the context, hey, I want you to be healthy. I want us to be healthy. And so lead by that. There was a guy that I know in California that really helped me out, early in my marriage. And when he grew up, his house was spick and span. He never remembers anything being dirty. His mom was just really, really good with that. His wife was a little different, wasn't as quick to the punch as his mom. And so it became a point of, conflict between them. And so he had a mentor tell him, he says, well, you're the head, right? You're the leader. He says, start doing it. Because if it's in her to really follow you, you do it, she'll follow you. And see, one thing I had to learn, here's what we don't like to do. You want to be the leader? And this is tantamount to what Winfrey said earlier. Okay, apologize first.
Leading everything.
Man.
Even if you're not wrong. I mean, start leading in those things, the hard things, not just the easy things, not just in giving out directions and those things like that. What she has is someone who's driven by the wind.
Right.
And she's just now finding it finding out because a new wind has blown and he's ready to go out the door. So, like I said, you know, go to the gym, leave a note, don't come back.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You said
But I mean, can we fault him? My man said he just want to sleep with other women. What's wrong with that? He's just trying to get some play, man. Look, maybe his wife, she just can't hit certain angles because she picked up, you know, a little bit of COVID weight. Can we fault my man for just saying, at least he was courageous enough to say, baby, you know what I'm saying? I just want to knock down a couple other women. That's it. I mean, why you lose weight?
He should have said that. He should have just said,
Right.
knock down a couple other women, or baby, I need you. Like, he didn't put them two together is the problem.
That's the issue.
If you would know that two separate
And listen,
things, just be like, hey,
he gave her an ultimatum. I don't like the way you look because you gain weight, so you go work out because this is your fault.
but why you working out?
And I should be able to work out too. While you working out, I'm gonna go work out too.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
That don't work for y'all. All right. All right.
Cicely said he was waiting for the threesome door. Absolutely.
Yeah, he was.
He was.
Absolutely. That's where he going. That's where this is going. He listen, she don't, because once she loses the weight, he gonna be like, well, I mean, she a part of us now. We might as well just keep her, right?
Exactly.
And here's the thing, Dan, to your point, if she agrees to this, to okay, I'll lose weight and you can go do this, then now she's done because he's going to be like, oh, she buying this, cool. So so when he want the threesome, introduce the threesome, she gonna go with that too. She gonna be going, I don't like it, but you know, my husband,
Man.
you know, I want to keep us together.
He probably gonna get him a high net worth woman with a lot of money into the relationship. She's gonna inspire them to both level up their insecurities.
Inspired.
and she not, and the one they bring in don't believe in God.
Oh man,
And
that's good.
she just leaving a previous relationship, right?
That's right. Everything we talked about, yeah.
Y'all didn't catch that. Where y'all at in the audience? Y'all didn't. That was witty, bro. That was
That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
All right. Whew. One more.
Man, you would have swear we siblings.
One more. We got one more. One more. All right.
Let's
and
go.
This is actually tying it all up. So,
Okay.
hold on. What did Dre say? Dre said he blew it. But if he's consistently asked and encouraged, pray fast, and she hasn't budged, that's a problem. There's got to be a point where enough is enough.
That's a good point.
Again, my thing is this: it's just too. If the issue is the weight, deal with the weight, and if the weight becomes too much of a problem to the point where it wants to cause you to leave the relationship, okay, do that. But like you said, where he blew it was when he brought them together to try to make it seem like while you in the process of losing weight, I'm gonna go over here.
Hey, Winfred, if he takes a break, is it still cheating?
Yeah, he's thinking.
I saw that too.
He's thinking high risk, high reward. That's what he's thinking. He's going for it all. Yeah.
Right, Dre. If he asks for the open marriage, if that's what you want, say that's what you want, but don't use the weight because now she got a conflict. She's saving up for gym memberships and clothes.
But you know what he's not thinking about? So he asks for an open relationship. She gets trim and fine. You ask for an open relationship, she brings somebody else on. You ask for that because you don't like the way she looks right now, and so you can go get somebody else. But then she says, well, we open, right? We open for business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's not thinking about that.
Yeah, but he messing out. That personal trainer gonna be meal prepping for her, helping her with them lunges.
Bringing
Bringing
sea moss and all
bringing
that.
the sea moss, you know.
Yeah, right.
we got sea moss on deck for her. We're gonna get her all 103 of your daily nutrient vitamins.
All right, this one pretty much encapsulates a lot of everything. So I posted this question: tell me one thing that you love about you. And I posted this question because what I find is this is one of the most difficult questions for people to answer. And so, because most of us spend our time and the energy looking at the thing that we don't do well, that we can't identify the things that we do well, or we diminish the things that we do well because of the things that we don't. So I want to know, for both of you gentlemen, this is a part of your expertise. Why is this such, besides the reasons I just gave, a hard thing for us to identify? Because even if you look on the post, it was very few responses. And I'm like, we really, especially as a people, struggle loving ourselves or identifying what we love about ourselves.
I got you. We had this conversation in our man cave meeting this week. That's kind of crazy. Me and KG was talking about this. I think it's a twofold. I think it's predominantly because the way that we've been raised, as in define our value based on what we do for other people. And we often have a sense of pride in putting ourselves last, especially if you've been raised in like a single household where you see your mother who goes out and do all these things for her. She feels guilty even doing something small for herself. As a man, I know for me, I was the man of the house, the oldest brother. The man of the house meant you had to make sure all the responsibilities are taken care of. And you had pride in that because you were rewarded for being it and having that type of mentality. So a lot of us are given honor based on what we can do for our siblings, based on what we can do for our friends. And we don't often see the results of what that means when it comes to neglecting self-care as a priority and how we take care of ourselves. That's one. I think secondly, because we lack introspection. And so because of how we are shaped in, especially being in America, come on, it's capitalism. It's grind, go, go. It's all about what you can get. And what you find is that creates a sense of spiritual nourishment because none of these things can truly fulfill you as a person, right? It just doesn't have as much substance. So I don't think that it's necessarily that we don't love ourselves. It's just that we don't have a sense of alignment with the things that truly bring value and sense when it comes to the depthness of our soul. And that does require us truly understanding who we are, not everybody else, not our attachments or our positions as a father, as an employee, as a superstar, none of that, but truly understanding the nature. I think love is about being virtual. It's becomingness. It's getting in alignment with who you are, and we lose sight of that.
Yeah, man, I echo everything that you said. I'll go back and rewind this and use it in another talk at some time. I'll do that. I'll give you credit 3 times, and then after the 3 times, it belongs to me.
Yes.
And I got one more after y'all too. I got a good one. How do I forget that?
Okay. No, go ahead, real quick.
There's an imbalance. We don't want to see egotistical. Let me tell you, we are one of the only individuals that do not want to live everything out to the fullest expression. We'll say stuff like this. Oh man, I don't want to be bragging. But you work really hard to obtain what you did. So there's always something in there that makes it feel like we have to diminish something.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
We don't want to look too egotistical, but then we don't want to feel like we underestimate or undervalue ourselves. And we'll be quick to put somebody else, esteem somebody else above us. It's an ego issue.
Yep. We don't know the difference between arrogance and confidence.
Oh, you literally took the thought out of my head. Yeah. And whether someone thinks it's arrogance or not could be based on their own insecurity, which mainly comes from them comparing themselves with other people too. So comparison kills. The other reason I think, Donnell, what you said was just incredible. I think also because you've never seen it. All we've seen in our entire lives is sacrifice with no fruit. There's been no fruit from sacrifice. So you've been seeing people give themselves over and over and over and over and over again. And you've been taught that this is good. You've been taught that this is godly. You've been taught that this is right. And what ends up happening is you have no boundaries to anything. And anything anyone asks you is yes all the time. So if you give yourself up all the time, anytime anyone asks, how can you love yourself when you don't even, there's nothing left to love? You've given yourself all the time and said, see, when you love yourself, no is the healthiest word that you can say. Because if you give too much of yourself, this is what I was telling someone the other day. I said, stop letting people borrow money. Why? Because you don't have any.
Facts.
That's why you don't have any. You haven't established yourself. You can't give anyone anything else until you've
Right.
established yourself, and you can pull somebody else up. So stop your word for the next 2 years until you can, have 3 months or 6 months. The word is no. And this is really difficult for the believers.
It's hard.
Christian people. This is really hard for them because they think that benevolence is something they have to do even when they don't have it. It makes them feel better about themselves that I can give something. But then you don't have it. After you give it, now you can't help anyone else. Now you're depleted to the point to where you can give nothing. That's not godly. That's not wisdom.
Demonic.
Man.
It's not
You know what I
wisdom.
realized?
Yeah.
It may be a trauma response. The need to people please because
It
you fear
is.
abandonment
Well,
or fear of success, fear of growth.
yeah. That's it's also.
Can I say this real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, you said this is. I see this because I'm gonna make a parallel. I see the same thing when a person is more acquainted with deficit than they are of surplus. Even if they get a lot of money, so they'll get their tax return or they will get a refund in college, and what they'll do so that you've learned how to make $20 last 2 weeks. But now you get $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. You will spend it down, not even knowing that you're doing this, until you get back to where you can get that reward of handling a little bit. And that's why we don't know what we love about ourselves is because we're used to handling deficit and not surplus.
Yep.
The problem is, how do you get to where you feel worthy of loving yourself is the thing. Let
me jump in here real quick. Okay. Answer that question too. Go ahead. No, finish the question
I just see that because I start to realize like where I'm at in my journey is that the reality that you create for your life comes down to how much you value yourself. And when you love yourself, you can do extraordinary things. It really does elevate everything in your life. And people don't understand the magnitude of what that truly means. It's true.
Absolutely. So first of all, let me. So here's the shift. The shift is we are supposed to give in every area, any area, relationally, financially, emotionally, in every area. We're supposed to give from the overflow.
Yep.
Church.
So let's start there. Most of us aren't full, so we sure in the Hades ain't got no overflow. Like we don't have enough emotional capital to be full enough to figure out that we love ourselves. So I'm trying to give you emotional energy that I'm supposed to be used for myself. I'm trying to give you money that I'm supposed to be using to invest so I can take care of my house and then I can give. So so once we make that shift, first of all, I have to prioritize me. We can't get people even to shift to invest first, to invest and save first. We still get money and pay our bills first.
Right. Oh, that's true.
Just something as simple as shifting that. Like I'm literally going to work to pay bills. No. Let me invest first. Let me save first. Let me give first. Let me save. Let me do those things first, and then I could pay bills.
Yeah, Cicely crazy. She said wouldn't be many people giving nothing if it contingent on that one.
Well, and I know that, and I know that's why we don't want to make that shift, but it's the reality, and this is why. Now, if we talking about, to Cicely's point, like in the church context, this is why most people don't want to give to the church. Because a church, they looking at the church like, hold on, y'all taking money and I ain't got no money, but you up here in the Rolls Royce and I ain't got no money, so now I ain't giving y'all my money. So that's a whole separate discussion.
Let's say it's not even that. Let's talk about economic pooling. This is a cultural issue. There's a cultural deficit when it comes to economics. Let's just be 100. That is fear-based driven. That's not accountability. That's not stewardship. So we can't even get to the point because what you're talking about is an abundant mindset,
Yes.
Right.
It does.
No, go ahead. My bad.
No, you good. Go ahead. I'm passing it.
Yeah. So my thing is like, you brought up the pastors. Even if a pastor, if it's Rolls Royce, BMW, Maserati, Aston Martin, if all that stuff comes from you being great with money, being an entrepreneur and having businesses that have nothing to do Well, I'm getting ready to make a point that have nothing to do with that church, the church, but you've been able to prosper in that area and you understand those dynamics in that world, then it's incumbent upon you at that point to teach that to people who are impoverished financially. And I was just reading Dr. Damon's, comment. He talks about neuroscience. People don't understand this.
Bring it up, Wayne.
Yeah, people don't understand this about, he brings up, plasticity, for years, neurosurgeons thought that the brain was static. So once you got to the ages of 8 or 10, whatever your brain was, that's just what it was. You couldn't change it. It's static. Now we're discovering that that's not the case.
Neuroplasticity, yeah.
Your brain is changing all the time. Every time you think, feel, or choose, your brain is changing. You can change yourself, but people don't understand those parts of themselves. Like your conscious mind is your gardener. You're thinking, feeling, and choosing. Those are seeds that you're planting in the garden, which is your subconscious mind every day. Because you don't know that the subconscious mind doesn't have the ability to reject anything you send it. So a lot of times people don't understand, why am I getting in cycles? Why do I keep seeing this again and again, over and over, year after year? Because you're thinking the same thing, you're choosing the same thing, you're feeling the same thing, and you got to switch your focus so that you can understand. There's nothing wrong. What are you gonna lose within a year if you focus in yourself? Oh man, that's a whole year. Well, what did you do last year? What did you do the year before that? What does that have to do with anything? You're thinking about the time. Time's going to go on regardless. It's about what you put in the time. So people look at that and they say, well, it's going to take a year. You didn't do anything last year.
Yeah,
what does it matter? What does it matter? And so we have to change our thinking and understand that change is possible when we realize that it is possible. I remember one of the first conversations that me and you had, Donnell, outside the barbershop, right? And we were talking about just writing something down on a piece of paper, looking at it before you go to bed, understanding that your brain produces 3 billion new brain cells every evening. The information contained in those cells is what's the most dominant thought on your mind. So like your body goes through rejuvenation and rebirth every night. Why not put information on my brain that's good? So I can wake up on it and have a different perception of the world around me the next day. But people don't understand how to do those things. There are tools and resources with your mind. And here's the thing, we know this. If it doesn't change up here, it's not changing.
Absolutely.
Well, you see, it's not changing. And so we need to, that's kind of why I do what I do. We need those tools and resources for people to understand how they can change their world. And then you can start loving yourself, because here's the thing. If you don't know what you love about you, somebody can tell you.
And they don't have a problem doing it.
They sure don't.
Look, if you don't have a plan for yourself, somebody else will appoint you one, like a lawyer. The state will give you one. Look, man, hey, that goes back to you was talking about us being fearfully and wonderfully made, man. Understanding what Albert Einstein said, the subconscious mind is a wonderful friend. Listen, man, we got the kingdom of God within us, man. Extraordinary things can happen. You know what I'm saying? Man, we are so beautifully made. This is crazy, man. Whenever you look at the most infinite design ever known with extraordinary beings, it far surpasses logic. I mean, the subconscious mind don't even make sense. Far surpasses logic. And we've minimized it to barely getting by. Come on, bro.
Come on, man. That right there, man.
Jesus.
That right there.
All right, so I'm good, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you another thing that I started to learn to do. I started to learn to love the things that I don't like.
Yes. Can we talk about it on a cellular level? Come on, man. Every single cell in your body hears the vibrations. You know, just something as of laughing boosts your immune system. It shows that God has created us to explore higher vibrational energy. It is the nature. We are not called to live suffering. We're proud of it. There is beauty of it, man. I thank my legs for being able to walk. I thank my eyes for being able to see. Our body appreciates this. Straight up.
Yep. Instead of walking around, I wish I don't like this. I love everything.
Absolutely.
Little bald headed self. You know, I have
Oh
ways.
man.
So I love. Hey, I mean, but it's just the like it's just the reality of what make some small, like you said, that small mental changes, small changing the way you think about yourself, changing the way you see the world, changing like there. I always say I have this thing. I could find positive anything.
Mm,
Like there's a positive in everything, and I might not figure it out yet, but I'm gonna keep looking for it, and that's the thing I'm gonna choose to hold on to, as opposed to all of the bad, because that's not gonna serve me. But what's gonna serve
right.
me is if I see the good and learn from it. If I
Yes.
or you know if I see even I see the bad and learn from it, and now that's good. Like there's
Right.
no such thing as bad. There's no such thing as failure. There's no such thing as loss. All of these things serve me to make me better. And so it's like love all of this. Love this journey that we on, this journey that you are becoming.
Yeah.
And it just
You know, that's
switches
called
something on.
that's called transcendence. When you can take things that ultimately don't look like it's for your good and have it work in your favor, it is a sense of oneness.
Mhm.
That is where you surpass the ego. For KG, who was talking about the ego, your ego is a sense of identification that you have groomed accustomed to who you are based on a dualistic world where it's bad and good. Transcendence is where you surpass all of that, where everything works in your favor because you realize there's a relationship with everything in nature is all one.
Yeah.
That's balance, my friend.
That's it.
That's when I can look at anybody in the world and I can see God in them because you are from the creator. I respect that. May
Absolutely.
not have to always agree with it, but I respect it, you know.
There it is. There it
Yeah.
is. There it is. All right, this has been fun. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it has.
this has been listen. This has been fun. This has been like filling, mind blowing. Like I'm on 10 now. I'm on
Come on.
like I got to get up in a couple hours, but I'm like, ooh, I got to do like
Man, I usually get on here and see Q say, "All right, sugars."
absolutely. So this has been the boys' night. Next week, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be ladies' night. So y'all make sure y'all
Yeah.
come back and check it out. Check out the ladies. So
Come
any
on.
final words of final thoughts? I'm gonna start with let me start with you, Dan.
Yeah, man. I just want to say, be yourself. And I know that may sound cliche, but I really do believe that this is the year of the revealed you. And so you can't be to the world what you need to be unless you know who you are. So don't feel ashamed and don't feel regretful about taking the time to relearn yourself, reimagine yourself, and represent yourself. Take that time to do that so that you can get everything that was designed for you to get here, walking in that path unashamed and with confidence, so that you can deposit in this place what you're supposed to deposit, and don't make apologies for it. If you don't do anything else for yourself this year, do that.
All right,
I love it.
Daniel.
Man, brothers, as usual, I love you guys. I appreciate you inviting me on. I'm going to give you your roses before I speak my truth. Winfred, thank you so much for always being a community activist, putting your first foot forward, sharing your platform. Dan, thank you for consistently being an amazing coach and inspirer, traveling, man, and just serving people, man. We know we need that now more than ever. I would say for my people, man, I lost a really, really great friend. Not even lost. One of my friends transitioned last week.
Hmm.
And one thing that was planted on my heart is having the desire to live the fullest expression of ourselves and really living empty and understanding that life has the ability to really do amazing things. And we have to get back to the point to where we're really living out that mission and what that looks like for you. So I would say, on the contrary, Dan, I hope your dreams don't come true. I hope that your life is so extraordinary that when you get to the end of it, you would look back and say, everything I did was beyond what I can imagine for myself. Because I believe that's what we do to bring God to a sense of awe. So wake up for the purpose of just awing God and living out your ancestors' dreams and passions, because that's what we're here for, you all.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Love it.
All right,
The
my final.
masterclass, April 2nd. Don't forget about that. Post a flyer, April 2nd. If you guys want to support us, listen, be in prayer for us, send us positive energy. Our goal is to get as many men that want to have a drive for growth there and also get as many students as we are. It's easier. I heard somebody say it's easier to fix a student that's going through trouble than it is to fix a broken man. So if we can get to these students and deposit these gems that these brothers have presented with this younger, we will build a strong generation, and they won't even have to deal with a lot of the barriers that we're having to overcome. So that's our goal and that's our mission. Thank you guys for supporting us.
All right. My final words, of course, are, man, thank you to both of you. Listen, y'all are real deal, for real. Real deal, as always. I appreciate you both. And I learn as much from you as from the two of you as probably anybody. So I appreciate you both.
All right, awesome. Hey, Dan, when we come back, you better have a beard, bro.
Listen. 43 years in, it ain't happened yet. It ain't happened yet.
Listen,
But he got that edge up fresh. Oh man,
Right. That's the only thing.
my edge
man.
up is fighting a good fight. I'm gonna be winning next year. When I'm with you,
come on, you might as well join us. Come to the other side, brother. Come to the.
you
other
look
side.
good, man. You look
on.
good. I'll be there soon.
Yep. Y'all make sure Thursday, if you haven't tapped into the Scoop on Clubhouse, listen, Donnell, Dan, and several other of us, Q, we are on the every Thursday with some great topics. This Thursday, Donnell's topic is, when is an ultimatum necessary? So we talk this Thursday. So y'all go to if you're on Clubhouse, find the Scoop on Clubhouse, follow the Clubhouse. We go live at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday. So also, if you have not seen our promotion this week, we are doing Advertise with Us, $40 for 2 weeks, and that's 2 weeks in our email, 2 weeks on our social media, 2 weeks on the show of advertising. So if you're interested, get with us. You can either email us at globaldriveradio@gmail.com or inbox me or Q, and we can get you the information that you need. So other than
we'll
that,
be doing that. We'll be getting on that. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So other than that, y'all great show. I appreciate you both. Y'all know, again, y'all the real deal. Thank you to everybody, all the new people. Again, if you have not, followed us on our social media, y'all go ahead and do that too, because we want to make sure that you guys get an opportunity to stay in the know about everything we got going on. So other than that, that's all I got. That's really all I got tonight. So I'm tired.
I'm going to sleep.
I'm going.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, y'all, good night. See y'all next week. Ladies' night. Peace.
That's going to be crazy.
It's going to be off the hook. It's going to be off the hook. Candace, Q. Yeah. I don't know who they third is going to be yet, but it's going to be fire. So, y'all, good night.
Good night.